Second order of business was going to Las Vegas. That's the sort of thing you can do on your first day back from vacation when you have your own plane.
You don't have to share my passion for fighting climate change. A lot of Americans are going solar and becoming more energy efficient, not because they're tree huggers, although trees, are important. Just want you to know. But because they're cost cutters. They like saving money. And I'm all for consumers saving money, because that means they can spend it on other stuff. Solar isn't just for the green crowd anymore. It's for the green eye shade crowd, too.
President Obama speaking tonight. That speech actually just ended in Las Vegas, Nevada, a little while ago. He was in Las Vegas tonight, part of Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid's annual climate change conference. And actually, this speech from the president tonight in Las Vegas is just the start of what's going to be a whole week of events and speeches and trips that the president is going to do, focusing on the issue of climate. After this Vegas trip tonight, he's going to be going to New Orleans to mark the 10th anniversary of the Hurricane Katrina disaster, which killed more than 1,800 people and swamped a whole coastal swath of the southeastern United States, including the great city of New Orleans. President Obama will be in New Orleans this week to talk about the toll of Katrina and New Orleans' decade of recovery since that disaster. I'll also be talking about the issue of resiliency against climate change going forward, how that whole part of the country, how New Orleans in particular, is getting beyond just the political debate around climate change. And by necessity, they're getting on with the business of coping with climate change and preparing for it and planning to survive it. From New Orleans, President Obama will then go to Alaska. He will visit Anchorage and Seward, Alaska. He will then head way, way north. He'll become the first sitting U.S. president to ever visit the Arctic. This is Kotzebue, Alaska. I think that's how you say the name of it. Kotzebue, Alaska. It's a community of about 3,300 people in northwest Alaska. And if you want to talk about resiliency and dealing with the rising seas, Kotzebue is one of about 36 communities in Alaska that has a FEMA-approved disaster mitigation plan for coping with the seas rising, with the ocean rising high enough that it basically plans to swallow these villages. Not far from Kotzebue, just north from there, is a town called Kivalina. And Kivalina has already passed the planning and worrying stage. They're already at the stage where they have to be moving their community inward, away from the rising sea. The Obama administration has set aside about $50 million to relocate Alaska communities that are on the coast that will be inundated by the sea as sea levels rise because of climate change. That one town, Kivalina, is moving first. And moving that one town alone is already estimated to cost $100 million, which is twice what the federal government has set aside to move all 36 of those threatened towns.